Ipswich beat Coventry. I was channel hopping last night in between that match and of course Bayern Munich, Real Madrid. But Ipswich now within touching distance of the Premier League for the first time in 22 years. They need a single point on the final day of the season against Huddersfield, who are 3 points from safety, fighting for their very survival down in 23rd. You can hear that game live on talkSPORT too. Post-match, Kieran McKenna, he was asked, OK Kieran, those 3 points tonight, how big were they?
Well, I guess that'll be determined on Saturday. It's certainly a very good win. It feels like a very important win. It's a really hard-fought win. It's a great night to enjoy in isolation anyway, coming away to a really good Coventry side and getting a result to enjoy in front of our supporters. It's a great night to enjoy, and it's another 3 points, and we know that puts us in a great position going into Saturday. And if we can deliver, a good performance and result on Saturday, then of course it makes tonight a very significant night.
I mean, Simon, in a season of unpredictability and the Championship, you never really know what you're going to get. Do you think there's one more twist in the tail here? Ipswich need 1 point on the last day. They're up against Huddersfield, who are fighting for their very lives.
I sincerely doubt it. I mean, that's assuming that Leeds win their game. Because if Leeds don't win their game, then they don't need any points.
That's right.
So really and truly, I can't imagine. Huddersfield are in the bottom 3 of the division for a reason. Ipswich are at home. The hard yards was done last night. I anticipated a draw at Coventry and a win at Huddersfield on the weekend. They've done the hard yards by going to Coventry, winning the game. And I expect them to do more than enough to either get the point they require or more likely win the game. And I think it's a remarkable achievement. I genuinely think it's a remarkable achievement, not just because they bounced out of divisions, but like we've discussed on a number of shows, everything about Ipswich at this moment in time looks the part, from who they sign to get them that little extra kick during the course of the season in Kiefer Moore, through the way which they manage their finances, the ownership model, the manager, the whole culture of the club looks like a club that's going in the right direction, and clearly it is. They're going to the Premier League.
Huddersfield are down. That's the problem. They're not fighting.
No, well, hang on. If the Huddersfield win the game and other results go against people...
No. They're goal difference.
It is a huge swing
they're
regards goal difference.
No, it's 15.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
Well, on that basis, Huddersfield have nothing to play for, so therefore they have a free hit themselves. So players often become more relaxed when they don't have anything on their mind, do they?
That's true.
So you become a situation where players can be completely free and let all their inhibitions go.
If you're at the top of the house, Simon, at Ipswich, are you already preparing for the close season, what you're going to do in it and life in the Premier League?
Well, depends what you think preparing involves. I mean, you've got a scouting network. Your scouting network will have been doing its job. You know ostensibly within the broadest of terms what money you're likely to get. It then becomes you switch from one mode to another relatively quickly. There's always this idea that the drag and tag of getting in through the playoffs gives you a disadvantage, and to some extent it does. All Championship clubs coming up to the Premier League have a disadvantage because you're bidding for a group of players that ultimately are just on the periphery of being good enough for the Premier League. And you're not in that higher echelon of players, unless you're perhaps a Leeds United that have got significant presence and crowd bases and perception and ownership models that might give you a different dynamic. But yeah, to some extent. But I think what you're doing, if you've got anything about you, is giving yourself a second to pause and just pat yourself on the back, and then you're going to get inundated. Then you're going to have the first set of things is how many bonuses have I got to pay the players as a result of promotion? What's the manager's contract look like? And what am I doing? Because you won't have to look for anything. You'll be inundated with football agents and everybody telling you who you should buy, what you should buy, and what you should look like. And your recruitment network should have been programmed to that extent. People don't sit around, doing nothing all season. If you're Ipswich and you've been looking at getting promoted since January, February, then part of your recruitment network would have been looking around going, if we find ourselves in that situation, where should we be looking? And you'll be overseas a lot because you know that there's going to be opportunities to buy players overseas that might be somewhat economically more viable. Yeah.
Kieran McKenna, having spoken to him at the EFL Awards night, Dan, a very reasonable fella. How much do you think he should depend on the ones who got him there, though? I mean, say it all happens for them, and it does look like it will happen. How loyal can he be to the ones who helped in the process of getting them into the Championship and now maybe into the promised land?
Well, it's a balancing act. He'll be very aware that they'll need more experience and a bit more quality. But of course, you want to give some of the players you're developing, and he believes in himself as a coach, so he'll feel that he can develop some of those younger players he has there even more. But it's a balancing act also based on the finance he gets given to improve. There's no point bringing players in for the sake of it, unless they really enhance your squad and give you that little bit of different, something different that you don't already have. So it's a big challenge for him. He'll be excited. I mean, I'm with Simon. I can't see them failing the desire to get over the line because even a draw does it, doesn't it? So
yeah,
they score goals for fun. They make chances. They'll go after Huddersfield. They'll score goals. So I think it's an amazing achievement. And actually, in many ways, because they've probably done it earlier than they anticipated, well, I'm assuming they have, next season's a free hit, really.
Yeah, I mean, we stress it's not done yet. I mean, to go up automatically. The longer Huddersfield hold them and say Leeds are leading away against Southampton, then obviously,
nerves can kick in.
Things are up in the air.
Yeah, nerves can kick in. Stupid sending off. Player does something daft because the emotion's getting the better of him. You never know. You never know. Highly unlikely. I've always found at end of season games when there's something on it for one team and not the other, the drive, the desire to get over the line tends to.
Yeah, I mean, if you're playing a good side,
I
remember in the last game of the season when we were trying to get into the playoffs in 2004, we'd been on a rich vein of form. We went to Coventry, we were 3-0 down at half time, and it was gobsmacking. And we ended up losing the game 3-2. Looked like we weren't getting into the playoffs after a really significant run of form, and the team that was immediately beneath us, which was Wigan, lost their game.
You just never saw it coming.
Never saw it coming.
Yeah.
Never saw it coming from Coventry because they had nothing to play for.
Yeah.
And we got battered in the first half. It was like, the hell's going on here? We're 3-0 down. We're just about to choke on the last hurdle.
It'll be a great story if they get themselves there. A great story of achievement.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.